everything dies.
Okay, anyway. Hi, it's the Spoilercast!
I was gonna let that go just as long as I could until you were sick of it.
Game of Thrones is back.
Season 5 of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
As if the internet didn't need more reasons to explode.
Right, exactly.
They gave us Daredevil and Game of Thrones in the same weekend.
In the same week, and
it's rough, man.
I forgot how much I missed the show until I watched it again.
Yeah, it was kind of like rediscovering an old friend.
It is. It's like, I was like, oh yeah, the Game of Thrones, and the premiere, and I was like, okay, yeah, the premiere, but I had to work, and I really couldn't watch it. I'm like, that's okay, we'll do it sometime this week. And now I'm like, God, what do I work on Sunday? I gotta be off so I can watch the Game of Thrones. I gotta know what's gonna happen.
Well, we can talk to Littlefinger about getting some of those purple berries to give to your boss. Have a purple wedding of your own. Well,
it wouldn't be a wedding. It'd be like a purple work day.
Yeah. Purple work day.
Purple work day. But no, Game of Thrones is back. This is
the Spoilercast.
I had to remember. Yeah, this is the Spoilercast. I had to remember what was going on, like in the world of Westeros.
Yeah, they did give a nice little 3-minute previously on showing about 25 million characters dying.
Right.
And reminding us all the other shit that had gone down.
Mm.
Over 4 fucking seasons of this show where everything dies.
They had to give a refresher so you can remember where everyone was.
Yeah.
If you don't read the books. Have everything memorized by heart.
Although, honestly, for this season, they said reading the books won't matter anymore. They're going far afield from the books starting this season. And they've already said that there's going to be characters in the show that are going to die that don't die in the books. There's going to be a ton of stuff different. So, book readers can no longer sit there and kind of...
I know, exactly. And watch for reactions of
get their phone video recording and, panning it to people right when they know something's about to happen. That ain't going to work anymore for us book readers. We're going to be in the dark. We're going to be just as in the dark.
I also heard that the show is supposed to... or possibly will be spoiling stuff that hasn't happened in the books yet.
Yeah, they confirmed that too, because they're going to be getting ahead of the book starting, the end of this season, next season.
Right.
That they're still going to do things that the books are planning on doing. Although Martin recently just teased that he thought he just came up with a new twist out of nowhere that he wasn't planning on, that he might put in the books that he hadn't planned all along for a character, but he said it's a massive twist, but it makes so much sense that he's thinking about putting it in. So, shit is, from all sides now, is just going crazy. But anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about what happened in the premiere.
The premiere of Season 5 was called The Wars to Come, which is a perfectly ominous line for this show.
Foreshadowing, maybe?
We've already seen 80 wars so far, so it's good to know that there's still plenty to come.
We need more wars in the world of Westeros.
Yeah, well, I mean, what else do they can do with all their time? Prepare for winter? Oh, there's no such thing as White Walkers.
Right, no, not at all. Not at all.
There's not some, King of the Dead out there turning babies into undead fucking demons.
No, not at all.
Nah.
No, that's not happening at all.
No, so... let's continue to screw around and fight over the Iron Throne.
Right. And the episode starts off with a flashback, actually, which is kind of weird because it's like, oh, it's medieval, it's all a fucking flashback. But it was 25 years ago with child Cersei.
Yeah. Still a cunt.
Yeah, still a cunt. 25 years ago, she was still a cunt.
You can tell that she basically... her personality set in at a very early age and did not change.
Right.
She
She's
was...
I'm a Lannister, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. Ever the petulant, self-absorbed, rich, little girl. And then, I don't know if it makes it so that her lack of development as an adult is more startling, or the fact that she developed it so early as a kid.
Right.
Like, which, we did hear the story where she wanted to, like, murder Tyrion when he was a baby, too. So it's like, how far did she develop early, or is she just, like, is it like Arrested Development, or she just never matured?
Yeah, I think it's more of the second one. She probably just never matured. Yeah.
Jaime matured late. Yeah. It took him getting his hand cut off to mature, but it happened. She hasn't had that moment yet where maybe I need to get my shit together.
Right.
But you know what? It's Game of Thrones, so probably gonna happen.
It probably will. It most likely will.
But in the flashback, she and some friend go find this hut out in the middle of the woods in the mud, and there's I guess a fortune teller,
a gypsy, maybe something like that.
Using, I would say, more of like a blood mage or something. That she gets a taste of Cersei's blood and she can see her future or whatever, and answers 3 questions for Cersei. Cersei says, "I'm pledged to the prince," meeting Prince Rhaegar, I think, the Targaryen, that she was supposed to marry originally.
Yeah, I think so.
And she asked, when will we get married? She said, "Never. You'll marry a king, not the prince." That happened.
Right.
She married Robert Baratheon after the Targaryens were killed and thrown off the Iron Throne. She asks, I guess the second question was, "What do you mean?" And then they explain, that she's like, "I'll be a queen." It's like, yeah, for a time, and then another will come along, younger and prettier, and you'll be pushed aside. So already we're seeing like the seeds way early for this complex that Cersei has against Marjorie.
Right.
And then the final question, how many kids will the king and I have? And they say none. He'll have 20, you'll have 3. And then, of course, for us, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
But she didn't understand.
They'll have golden crowns, and they'll have golden
shrouds. Yes. Yeah. So, again, things are looking bleak for the Lannister children. It's weird. For a family that's so powerful, things have been pretty bleak for them. The last season or so. Right, yeah, definitely. They kind of hit their apex right around the Red Wedding, and since then,
it's been downhill. Yeah. We saw Tyrion in this episode.
Yes, Tyrion, our favorite Lannister.
Apparently, he was in a box for quite some time.
Yep.
Shoving his shit through holes in the box.
He was the man in the box.
He was, as I was singing. But yeah, no, he was. He was definitely the man in the box for a while.
Apparently, shitting through holes in the box, and then Varys is the one having to pick up his shit and throw it overboard, so nobody would wonder why there's shit coming out of this box. Right. I love when those two are together. They're the best scenes because they both have that just dry humor to them. And I guess we had a couple scenes with the two of them, but it was all coming back to the same thing, Yeah, it was establishing that Varys has plans for Tyrion. And Tyrion is trying to drink himself to death. Yeah, Tyrion basically is what's going on. Tyrion basically has no fucks to give anymore. And, it makes sense. He's kind of got at a point now in his life where it's like he's lost everything. He murdered his father. He murdered his lover. And he really just doesn't know what to do. Like, the first time in his life, he has no plan, no idea. Before he always had some scheme or something going on to work towards, or something to keep his mind busy. Now he has nothing, and that absence of having a goal or having anything for him to kind of focus in on clearly is taking its toll on him. Right, and that he's trying to fill the void with more booze than usual. And there's just too much emptiness right now, or too much aimlessness to drown before he actually fills it. Right. So Varys' idea, which is a good one, is to get him and Daenerys together. Right. And I'm going to go ahead and start the countdown now on episodes till that happens, because the first time those two are in a scene together is going to be the best moment in this show. So up to that point, like everything in the show beforehand, it'll be crowned at that point, and then we'll see afterwards if anything beats it. But the first time Tyrion and Daenerys have a conversation will be the best moment the show has had up to that point. That's true. I definitely believe that. After 4+ seasons, full seasons, we're finally going to get like the two of the characters that have never seen each other that people like the most in the same room talking to each other. Right. And it's going to be hilarious, and it's going to probably be amazing. So I am absolutely just like, okay, the countdown starts. How many episodes?
Hopefully it happens this season. It's possible that shit will happen and they won't meet up until the. I would see if it happens. It'll probably happen in the finale of the season.
I don't think so. I don't see her sitting around Marine and then like for the whole season. Then he gets there because obviously she's probably not going to go anywhere until that happens.
Right.
If I had to guess, just from general plotting, well, it's obvious he's gonna be something to her.
Right.
But they're not going to have her up and move her entire fucking 1,000,000-person army.
Right.
And then have him chasing after her, like, wait up. So, I have a feeling that it's going to be somewhere around mid-season. And then he's going to become an advisor to her or something. And then by the end of the season, there's going to be a goal for all of them together. Probably to cross the sea and get on with the fucking business of taking back Westeros.
Right.
Because that needs to happen. Like, she's been building to it, but then she's kind of now, the last, season and a half, been kind of in the same place. Yeah,
they established that last season. They're like, well, she's got all these followers, but she doesn't really know how to rule yet.
Yeah, and it's an important lesson. It's something that, obviously, we've seen what happens when people take the throne and they don't have those lessons, like with Joffrey. Or even Robert, he really didn't have any kingly or leadership. He was a battle leader. He wasn't, but he wasn't a leader of men.
Right. Well, that's what he left everything to the hand. All the dealings to his hand because he was just like, I'm just going to drink and hunt and.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't know how to occupy his time either.
Right.
And Joffrey wasn't well suited because he was just cruel and didn't care about other people. He just cared about himself.
Right.
Tommen, while not a bad person, might be too meek for the job and too easily manipulated.
But we haven't really seen anything up to this point,
right?
For Tommen, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm just kind of gauging his interactions, like with Marjorie. That she's playing him like a friend.
Oh yeah, she is. She definitely is.
So,
but we haven't seen him try to rule. We haven't seen him. You know what I mean?
And I'm drawing a bit of my book knowledge that in the books he's obviously way younger than the show has him. But I know in the books it's kind of always made a point of that he just does whatever he's told by his advisors, by the small council. He enjoys using his royal stamp of approval on things. So he kind of just approves whatever's put in front of him because he likes using it. Like this, I don't know if that's going to be true, obviously, in the show here because they're going to change a lot, and they might give him more of a backbone, make him more compelling. Be interesting. But yeah, Daenerys needs to learn, and this episode they showed quite a few things. She tore down the Harpies first off, which pissed off people. They're starting to murder the Unsullied, assassinating them. These sons of the Harpies, they call themselves. Obviously, probably former slave owners that resent Daenerys.
Right.
But obviously don't have any real power, so they're striking from the shadows. And now she's getting word from, she sent her people back to, was it Yerevan, I think? One of the other cities, Yunkai. Yunkai, that she conquered. And that, to try to settle down, there was an uprising going on. And they managed to resolve it, throw out the guy that wanted to be a warlord, and then establish a council of both, wealthy highborn men and commoners. Like an equal council to rule the city. But they want their fighting pits open.
Right.
All up and down Slaver's Bay. And even though there's no slaves anymore, she won't let them do it. She doesn't want men fighting to the death for any reason. Whether it's their choice or not. So Dario, who's a former fighter himself, is trying to convince her in bed that that there can be good from it. That it's not just a barbaric thing.
Right. It gave him his freedom, He comes from the fighting pits.
It gave him something when he had nothing.
Right.
It gave him, again, a way to focus himself.
Right.
And then he got freedom as a result of it, and it was freedom that he was able to seize properly and use to his advantage. And, it's one of those things, if free men choose to sign up and get paid to fight to the death, I don't see, again, it's she can't really stop them. She can say it's illegal, but they're going to do it then in back alleys or abandoned warehouses or whatever.
Right.
and it's a good way to compromise on something where people are voluntarily hurting themselves. It isn't like they're inflicting damage on innocent people. So it's an interesting lesson that she's learning. But then also, Dario pointed out that you have made thousands of enemies, and they'll strike at you if they think you're weak. And she's like, well, I have the Unsullied patrolling the streets. She's like, anybody with gold can buy Unsullied.
Right.
You're not the mother of Unsullied, you're the mother of dragons. And then we got to see this new side of her that she's kind of afraid of her dragons right now. Like, Drogon's gone.
He's gone, yeah. She doesn't know where he is.
And Rhaegal and Viserion are, locked, chained up in the bottom of a temple. She goes down to see them, and they lash out at her and shoot fire, and they're not well behaved. They're not well behaved teenagers. Right. They're very angsty towards their mother.
Right. And
get out of our room, Mom!
I think it'll be interesting to see how she regains her confidence, because that's what it is. Her confidence is waning, and I think that's what the whole point of this is.
You can't command dragons if you're afraid.
Right. And I think her confidence is waning because she's like, this is what I know, you're going to do what I say, and like, well, the people don't want that. Yeah, she's taking blow after blow. Right. But she thinks she's ruling with her heart and not her head. And that's the problem, is that she's taking this so personally, every little thing that happens. Right. Her dragon char-broiled one boy, and it made her lose all faith in her ability to control her dragons. And then all these extra little things are just piling on. And she needs to, go back to that, fierce woman we saw that walked into a funeral pyre and then walked out with baby dragons. Right. Like, that's who she needs to find, that person again, the woman that ate a fucking horse heart. Right. To prove she was worthy. Like, she's in there somewhere. So she just needs to figure it out again. Maybe that's going to be what Tyrion helps her with. Maybe. Maybe that's something he can do, is help her remember who she is. Or maybe it's up to, we haven't seen Jorah yet. He's still in the area. Maybe that's something he can do. Right. Because I saw him in the teaser trailer, so we know he's in this season. So maybe that's, something along the way that she needs to kind of look to the past and remember what made her somebody that, like, Jorah would betray the King of Westeros for. Right. When he was getting paid a ton of money to spy on her. And he threw it all away because he believed in her. So that's going to be her journey, I think. Right, this season. At least at the beginning of the season. Yeah, because once she gets her confidence back, she'll be able to rule more effectively, too. And so it's all just a matter of figuring out why she's doing, I think, what she's doing. Like, it seems like she's not quite sure either. She's just kind of sitting in the pyramid, and she's like, right. She's like, I'm not here, to do whatever. And it's like, I don't think she really knows exactly why she's there yet. She doesn't sound like she really understands it. Right. So, that'll be interesting. Then there was like a lot of little jumping around. Like, we saw Brienne is super fucking frustrated after Arya walked away from her. Right. And she's basically giving up. I think sounds like she wants to give up the search for Sansa. Whereas her squire, not a squire, is still trying to, like, wants to stick with her and motivate her. She's like, I'm not a fucking knight, you're not a squire. And then one of those moments, like, they did that thing where they're sitting there having their argument, then it pans over to a carriage coming down the road, and Sansa's in the fucking carriage. Right, it's like, she's right there! Ah! She's right there, Brienne! Brienne, go look in the window! Yeah, Brienne, quick, go attack that caravan. Well, her and Sansa and Littlefinger continuing their discussions of their plans for the Vale. And then they got Robin out of the Eyrie now. He's going to be training at some Lord's Manor, learning how to be a proper soldier. Just to keep him fucking busy. Keep him out of their fucking hair. Right. With his little snot nose and whininess. But I've seen a woman with palsy swing a better sword. And that was fucking hilarious. That was like, oh.
Poor sweet Robin.
Poor sweet Robin. But, Sansa's looking... They took the red out of her hair this season. Yeah. I don't know if they did it on purpose, so as to not confuse us with the Red Witch, or...
No, I think they did it last season, like, at the end. Like, when she adopted this personality of being Littlefinger's bastard daughter, Elaine. like her hair got dark. She dyed her hair darker.
Maybe that's what it was.
To match kind of his. And also, it's easier to disguise her identity that way. Like right after her aunt died, like her hair changed.
Right.
So I think that's when they went full on. Okay, you're a new person now.
Right.
But speaking of the Red Witch, Melisandre, her hair was really dark too.
It was.
Everybody's darkening their hair. Like her hair was like super fucking red.
Right.
And now it's like almost black. And our friend and occasional podcaster B made the comment that maybe that's matching. Her hair is getting darker because her tactics are getting darker.
It's possible.
And that maybe she's straying more into the shadow away from the light.
Right.
With what she's doing.
It's possible.
Like so, yeah. It could very much be a visual representation of the character instead of just a design choice by, the writers or directors.
Right.
So we'll see.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Cersei did most of this episode doing what she did in the cold open, which was just skulking around, glaring at people, and being angry with them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jamie, she blames him for their father's death. Not completely, invalid.
Right, unfounded. Yeah,
but
unfounded.
it's not like Jamie was like, okay, now you can go get him.
Right.
Go get him, Tyrion. Like, pat him on the butt or something on the way.
He wasn't like, all right, Tyrion, go kill Dad.
It's your chance.
Right. It's like, that wasn't what his intentions were. His intentions were to save his brother.
Yeah, and Jamie's trying to unite with her because now that Tywin's dead, everybody's gonna be coming for their shit, and she's just like, "Fuck you." And that was
our father's dead because of you.
Yeah, her response to everything was just "fuck you."
Pretty much, yeah.
And then she was fucking glaring at the wake. People were trying to give her condolences, and she's just like, "Feh." And then Lancel showed up.
Yeah.
With the fucking haircut and brown.
He's now he's a sparrow, as he's being called.
It's a religious cult, the Sparrows. Apparently, it's kind of like a fundamentalist, offshoot of the churches, the Seven, which is like the traditional church for Westeros. These are like the hardliners, the fundamentalists.
Right.
And then Lancel confronts her, and she's like, "Oh, you healed from the Battle of Blackwater," which was the last time we saw his moppy ass. With his little fucking bowl haircut.
Right.
Like a little beetle wannabe. And then he said, it wasn't my body that needed healing, and he went on to talk about their relationship together, and then when he poisoned Robert, and that he needed forgiveness, and that she should ask for forgiveness, and she's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Just flat denying everything that happened in the past, which is kind of her style. She's like, "Oh, really? That happened? I don't remember that happening."
Right.
And you can't prove it because you're wearing a brown robe
and no shoes.
Yeah, and no shoes, and I'm a queen. Look at my hair.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. So yeah, that was basically Cersei's. You can see sum up her entire story with just "fuck you."
See, I wondered why in the open they were showing more of him, and I was like, "Oh, something's gonna happen with him in this episode, obviously."
Yeah, that was good. That was good too because it reminded you he existed.
Right. So I even had to ask, I'm like, "Wait, isn't that her?" And
then when the actor shows up again, you're like, "Okay, yeah, Lancel."
Yeah, gotcha.
Because it's such a drastic visual difference from having the little floopy blonde hair and everything,
right, to being shaved head.
Yeah. Looking very serious.
Right.
So, and then we got to have another one of those little fun bedroom scenes with Marjorie and her gay brother. She just walks in while he's having some foreplay going on with this dude, and then
his name was Oliver, by the way.
Yeah, his name's Oliver. Whatever. And she walks in, and he's like, "Do you mind?" She's like, "No, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
You're making the king wait, and I'm fucking hungry. Get this shit over with. I'm starving.
Let's get the fuck out of here."
And I love how nonplussed she is about the whole thing. She's so... And she's aren't you going to try to be careful? She's like, fuck it, everybody knows already.
Right.
I think I have to marry Cersei now that Tywin's dead. Fuck everybody.
He's like, if you don't marry Cersei... He's like, if I don't marry Cersei, she doesn't get out of here, and then she's going to be in your hair. She's going to be your mother, basically.
Yeah, your mother-in-law.
And she's like, possibly.
A mother-in-law that's the only way she knows how to greet her daughter-in-law is fuck you.
And she's like, we'll see. So she's planning something.
Yeah, Marjorie's got
plans.
Which is, it's one of these, you're like, wow, people don't really plot against Cersei because it's terrifying. It's an idea. I think the only one that ever really did it was Tyrion, and he only got away with it about half the time.
Right.
Tywin never plotted. He would just straight up tell her, "You're marrying the gay guy.
Right.
If you don't like it, get the fuck out of here."
Fuck you.
Yeah, she takes him. She took after Tywin quite a bit.
She did. She really did.
Well, no, Tywin was more like, "Fuck you."
Fuck you.
Anyway. And then up north we got the Jon Snow show.
Right.
Going on. He's hanging out with the Red Priestess and Stannis Baratheon, who remains my favorite Dark Horse kingly candidate. Just because there's no bullshit with the guy.
It's not.
It's refreshing. It's like there was no bullshit with Ned either, but Stannis is not he's not soft-hearted like Ned was.
Right.
He's not forgiving. But it's like, okay, here's a guy with no bullshit, but he doesn't take any shit.
Right.
And he's not nice to people.
Not at all.
But he's not rude either. It's weird.
To burn a man at the stake for not taking him.
Yeah, Mance Rider.
Yeah.
Stannis wanted Jon to convince Mance to convince the wildlings to join Stannis' army as he marched south. He's like, they join my army, and when I'm on the throne, they all become citizens of the realm, no questions asked.
And they'll give them land.
Yeah, I'll give them land. They can live their lives on this side of the wall. And Jon's like, yeah, okay.
I'll see what I can do, but...
And he does his best to try to get convince Mance to bend the knee, but, Mance is a free folk. He's free. He don't do it. And he's like, it's not like I want my people to get hurt, but I'm not going to make them fight in a foreigner's war. I'm not going to make them bleed.
Right.
Just to be free. Or, or to not even be free, just to live.
Right.
Just to live, to continue living. And it's kind of that old live free or die kind of mentality. That, and some people are like, oh, you should just, swallow your pride. And he's like, fuck my pride.
Right.
I love that.
It's not about my pride.
Yeah, I love that line. So he's like, fuck my pride. Talking about how he's afraid, but he's more afraid of betraying what he believes in than dying.
Right.
So, we had Mance going up in flames until Jon, Mance said earlier, he's like, I don't want to go out that way screaming and, charred in front of my people.
Right, being burned at the stake.
Yeah, so Jon did him a favor before he could be completely, actually catch on fire.
Consumed by the flames, yeah.
He put an arrow through Mance's heart. So that his people wouldn't see him, crying in pain and struggling and dying horribly. And no doubt that's going to cause some friction. Yeah. But Jon Snow,
I think that the wildlings are going to appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Half of them already like Jon Snow,
right?
Even though he was a fucking spy, he's an obvious spy, and they still like him,
right? So,
I think it'll be interesting, especially considering there's no leader of the Night's Watch right now,
right?
Was this Alistair? Fuck faces, gonna be. I guess it's like it's actually democracy up there. People actually have to campaign and then be voted into office as the leader. Right. It's very progressive on the wall. If you think about it, it's like nothing but fucking thieves, rapists, and murderers. It's a very progressive environment. Leaders are voted in. Right. Granted, once you're voted in, you're until you die. But there was a vote.
There was a vote.
So right now it's Alistair and the guy who's the head of the Shadow Tower are gonna campaign to be the leader of the Night's Watch. So you gotta figure that the 100,000 wildlings chilling right outside the wall might factor into that somehow. Because
they said some of the men were disappointed because they saw Jon take a wildling's body, a girl's wildling's body, which we know is
Ygritte.
Ygritte's back north of the wall. That's where she belongs.
He knows nothing.
Jon Snow does not know a lot of things.
Yes, it is a known thing that Jon Snow does not know. It's like a Bo Jackson catchphrase, but backwards and inside out.
Right, pretty much.
Whereas Bo knows everything.
Jon Snow knows nothing.
Snow knows nothing.
Snow knows nothing.
Snow does not know baseball. Snow does not know football.
Nice. Very nice.
So I want that. I hope that Photoshop exists. So Jon Snow.
The memes. Snow does. No, no, no.
So we Photoshop Jon Snow's head onto Bo Jackson's body. But like instead of like holding a baseball.
Damn! I wish I had the Photoshop skills to do that.
Oh yeah, you get like Bo Jackson's baseball card, right? You put Jon Snow's head on there, and then Photoshop it out so he's not holding a bat, but like a fish.
Snow don't know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that's not a thing already.
It probably is. We just haven't found it yet.
Probably.
There's no way we're the only first people to think of that.
So yeah, so Jon put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
Before he caught flame or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's interesting I want to know how the progressions. Jon's got to run. Like, you know what I mean? That's what's going to happen. Like, I can see it off in the distance.
Yeah.
They're setting up. But it's Game of Thrones, so you never fucking know.
Yeah, and think about it. How has being a leader ever worked out for anybody on the show?
Right.
In any capacity. If your name's not Daenerys Targaryen, it doesn't work.
Right.
Like, every person that's taken the mantle of leadership onto them has gotten fucked 4 ways from Sunday on the show. Fucking Robb Stark, nope. Ed Stark, nope. Robert Baratheon, nope. Viserys Targaryen, nope. Khal Drogo, nope.
True.
Tywin Lannister, nope. Joffrey Lannister, Baratheon, nope.
This does not work out for you.
Oberyn Martell, nope. Like, just X.
Right.
Everything's gone. Now, we didn't see quite a few characters this episode. Arya,
yeah. Arya was nowhere to be found.
We know she's
on a boat.
Yeah, we know she's in the next episode in the preview.
She's on a boat. She's on a boat. She's
on a boat,
man. She's sailing on a boat.
Yeah. No sign of Bran or anything that's going on way north of the Wall.
Right.
Up in crazy magic territory.
From what I understand, that happened way earlier than it did in the books.
Absolutely, it did. It happened super early.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Bran for a couple episodes, especially since the character's getting older. And they're trying to make him stay, you know what I mean? Like the character's is not getting that much older, but the actor is, and it's you can definitely tell that he's going through puberty and shit.
He's going through changes.
Like they're trying to keep him with the same haircut, and it's like you're like 18 and you have like a 12-year-old medieval boy's haircut right now.
Yeah,
I can see the mustache on your lip growing in. You know, like you're not freaking 12. You're obviously not 12. But I think that's probably my guess is they'll come back to it eventually, but I think they're going to kind of put it off for a while.
Yep. Still no sign of Rickon Stark. I don't know if we're going to see it. It's one of those things I don't know if we're going to see him again. If he pops up, like what capacity he'll be in. Right. We didn't see anything of the Boltons or the Freys or any of those fuckheads. No. Nothing really with like the Blackfish either, who's still on the loose. Right. After what happened with the Red Wedding. We didn't see Dorne yet. We're going to be going there this season with the fallout from Oberyn's death. Right. And they're not going to be pleased.
No, not at all. And, I'm sure.
Marcella Baratheon, the only daughter of Cersei and Robert Baratheon, air quotes, is down there basically living life, just chilling. So things are a bit delicate right now with all that. But we know that what's going on there and with her being there is going to factor into the season, what's going on. Right. So we just haven't got a chance to see it yet, but I know they cast a ton of people that are all Dornish characters. So that's going to be a big thing. Right. And like I said before, we didn't see Jorah yet again either.
Right, we haven't seen Jorah either.
So definitely looking forward to this season. It's already got a lot of stuff moving ahead. Nothing as far as like action or major plot twists, with the exception of Mance Rayder dying.
Well, it's like setting up the chessboard at the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? Like,
this was
you got to put all the pieces in their place before you can play the game.
Yeah, this was kind of like in a chess game. This was like the first 3 moves. I'm ignoring that fucking pun. I'm talking over that pun. This is like the first.
Someone listening to it groaned right when I said it.
I hope so. I hope they email you a picture of a butt.
But yeah, no, this I'm getting back into the swing of it. I'm getting all my character names back into my head the right way.
Yeah, you just gotta get that. You gotta get that memory engine chugging again. Like, okay, Game of Thrones mode.
You gotta wake up the hamster in the Game of Thrones wheel and get him running.
Yeah, you gotta give him a treat and get him running again. So that will wrap it up for this one.
Yep.
Again, we'll be doing these Spoilercasts every week with each episode. So if there's a week where there's no episode, there's no Spoilercast.
Right.
But we will have a new Spoilercast for every episode this season. As always, if you want to comment, if you have your own theories you want to share with us, you can do so on our Facebook page. You can do so over Twitter if you follow us, or you can tweet at us if you. But you should really follow us if you're going to tweet at us. I mean,
right, you should.
Because that's the easy. It's also the easiest way to find out when new things are posted.
Right, exactly.
You can always go to our main website, podcastadoom.com, to listen to the Spoilercast or to our main podcast,
right,
which is getting up to the 80th episode now, with Avengers 2 looming on the horizon. Things are getting interesting over there. Also, apparently, what we talked about this week, Pokemon Make You Gay.
Pokemon Make You Gay. And the Ant-Man trailer dropped.
Yes.
We have to talk about that as well.
So you'll find all that on our main website. You'll also find our shop. You can buy shirts, mugs, shot glasses, if you're so inclined.
If you're so inclined.
But we always we appreciate you listening. We love that you guys take your time out of your day and hang out with us while we talk about nerdy things.
Right.
And please subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. Leave a review if you're enjoying us. And tell your friends.
Yeah.
We want to become friends with your friends.
Yeah. Go make it like Wayne's World. Go tell two friends. Yeah. And have them tell two friends.
And so on.
And so on. And so on. But yeah, we do really appreciate you guys listening. Once again, thank you from the bottom of our black little Game of Thrones hearts. Yeah. I'm Friar Dan.
I'm that guy Todd.
See you next week.
Remember, you listen or you die.
Or you die.
Oh, it's been a year since I could say that.